some of the challenges that individual member states have are considerable. They're pressured because of austerity in the budget, they're pressured because of opposition inside their countries, and to get acceptability of quite radical changes is always difficult. Second, there are the planning changes. Independent, within the member states there are different planning regimes, and to get agreement for major changes of the sort that will be necessary to draw the benefit of renewable energy, for example in resiting transmission lines and so on, will require a major effort to change the whole basis on which governments operate.
Primero, contar con una política energética de largo plazo, contar con un marco jurídico que permita desarrollar esta política y también un marco regulatorio que genere las inversiones necesarias y dé certidumbre a las mismas. Este es el reto más importante en los próximos años. Se requiere, por una parte, atacar la oferta y la demanda. En relación con la oferta, lo que se requiere es de un marco regulatorio que promueva sobre todo un mix mucho más sustentable, que promueva las energías renovables, pero no solamente las energías renovables no convencionales. América Latina también tiene un potencial para recursos renovables que en algunas partes del mundo no son considerados como renovables, pero que a nuestro juicio son fundamentales para la zona. Por ejemplo, los grandes recursos hidroeléctricos que tiene América Latina. Entonces, esto es por el lado de la oferta, un marco regulatorio que permita aprovechar esas oportunidades. Y por el lado de la demanda, se requiere empezar a tener esquemas tarifarios que puedan enviar las señales económicas adecuadas para que los consumidores puedan hacer una adecuación en sus patrones de consumo, para que tengan incentivos a utilizar energías más limpias, para que puedan racionalizar el consumo, para que lo puedan hacer de una manera más inteligente.
Energy efficiency is probably the most win-win-win situation that you can have. By making an efficient use of energy, by reducing your usage of energy, you save money, you save the demands upon the peak times when energy is the most expensive because most people are using it, and every aspect it points to good sense, and that is at the heart of it. It can deliver major changes by relatively small changes to the way in which we live. Big companies save very large amounts of money by doing this. It's the smaller companies and you and I making changes by turning off the computer, by making good, efficient insulation arrangements in our houses. And although it may cost, upfront costs are high, it's worth it in the long run, and yes, it contributes towards the improvement of the European economy.
El tema de la eficiencia energética y la sostenibilidad es ante todo un tema de política energética en el que la regulación se inscribe. Si un gobierno no tiene una política energética de largo plazo bien fundamentada, ambiciosa y que realmente quiera marcar un cambio, la regulación tampoco puede moverse mucho. La regulación al final del día está sujeta al marco de la política energética que marcan los gobiernos. Entonces es fundamental que los gobiernos, en primer lugar, sí tengan una visión de largo plazo e insisto, como decía en un principio, un marco legal que permita que la regulación pueda explotar todo el potencial que tiene.
Main requirements of the directive focus on what individual governments have to do in terms of achieving fairly demanding targets, which means a radical change. In the UK we estimate something like a 20% reduction by using efficient energy and focusing on all aspects, public sector buildings, private sector buildings, publicly owned buildings, councils and so on. That will be a demanding educational and infrastructure change that needs to be delivered by all aspects of society. But it is achievable and wise. Well, I don't think any government wants to think in terms of failure, especially not set in targets that have been set for 2020, which is not very far away. And indeed, a number of governments have already indicated that they are on the way towards achieving it, although as you get closer to it, it becomes harder. So I think it is unthinkable that we should already start offsetting the idea that we will fail, and two, we must intensify the efforts. I don't think that it is such an impossibility to achieve demanding targets, but it requires a whole range of measures targeted at different aspects. Consumers need to do things, companies need to do things, governments need to do things. It's a combined effort, and sometimes it's more difficult when major sums are needed to invest, and at times of austerity that's difficult. But people are making the progress and it should be achieved.
Predecir el futuro es de las cosas más difíciles que hay, pero estoy convencido que la calidad de vida del ser humano, de las personas en la región y en el mundo no será la que podemos tener si contamos con un marco de políticas públicas y un esquema regulatorio que lo favorezca.